Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to inspire you, give you crochet advice, and help you along with your next project. If you enjoyed this pattern, please give me a thumbs up or even comment so I can gauge your interest. It helps me to know what to film next. I'm not very formal. Here's today's zinger. Laughter is apparently not the best medicine. I know, crochet is. It will just have you in stitches. Oh my god, total dad joke. Let's get on with today's tutorial. Welcome back to the Crochet Lattice. So my friends over at yarnspirations.com, another free pattern for you today. It's called the Crochet Lattice Lapghan. I've never crocheted anything like this before. Really neat texture, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So this particular idea will grow really quickly because of the extra long stitches. This is using Red Heart Super Saver Ogo, and the Ogo type that it is called Newsprint, and this is the striped version. It's a 5 ounce. So in the striped version of regular Red Heart Super Saver, it's the same thing. It's just a different format of wrapping it that you can see here. And you're just gonna crochet from one side to the other when it comes to this. Now I am going to be demonstrating with solid color yarn, and I'll be demonstrating with the Red Heart Super Saver Ogo, and in solids it's a 7 ounce, so it's the same size yarn when it comes to the Super Saver in the 7 ounce format. So it's just a wrapping of a different format. So we have a crochet diagram available to you, and I'm also going to tell you some secrets to changing the size. On page number 2 is where it officially starts, and we're going to get ourselves through a repeating pattern. So once I get myself through the repeat, I'll be able to just say go back and complete the following steps. So you can see these rows number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the repeating for this particular one. I will also cover the border with you. If you would like to change the size of this, it's in multiples of 6 plus 3. So you will crochet the chain 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. When you're happy with it, then you'll just add 3 more chains and you'll have the balance in order to complete this just as it's written. So without further ado, you'll need a 5mm size H crochet hook in order to play, and I'm gonna be using a regular color for Red Heart Super Saver in the Ogo format. So I'm showing the Ogo that I'm using, so you can use it from the tip to go from the outside and just continue to go. The Ogo, remember, doesn't go all the way through, but it just stays on the tip and gets shorter and shorter and shorter until the end. I like to turn it around, and I go from the back side of this, and therefore the yarn comes out at the middle of the Ogo just like this. And because it's only wrapped just a few inches on the inside here, it does not tangle either. So you can decide what you want to do, whether you want to unwrap from the outside or from the inside. It's your choice. Let's begin. To begin, let's create a slip knot, and we can chain 117 as per the pattern with your 5mm size H crochet hook, or if you want to change the size and make it different, then you can do that as well. So in order to change the size, you go in multiples of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you happy with the width of your blanket? If not, keep going. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happy, yes or no? If not, keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna do it one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're doing it in this format and you're happy with the width, just add 3 more chain and you'll have the balance again. So 1, 2, 3. So you can either chain 117 or do like I just showed you in order to customize. Let's begin row number 1. Let's begin row number 1 by going second chain from the hook. Now I've been getting a lot of questions lately about going on the back hump of a chain or the back loop of a chain, and you go 1 and 2 and get the back hump. And the reason why I do that is that it gives it a nicer finish. So if you prefer not to do that, then that's your call. It's your creativity after all. So just continue to go down your chain and do it the way you feel is best for you, and just continue to single crochet in each of the chains, and I'll see you at the end of the chain in just a moment. Once you're coming to the end of the chain, you'll go right to the end. You're technically right now looking at the wrong side of the project, and we'll be determining that in row number 2 that we're about to start up with, because row number 2 we're going to establish what is the good side and what is the wrong side. So right side and wrong side. Let's turn your work, and I'm just gonna grab the diagram and show you what's next. In row number 2, what's gonna happen is that we're going to chain a total of 4, which is your first treble, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches out and then put a double treble that will come across. This here, these, see how they're more lighter? That's in behind. So you're just going to fill in the 2 that you skipped with 1 treble in each. After that's done, you're going to skip this empty stitch that will be empty at the time, and then you'll put 1 treble into the next 2, and then this double treble comes into the one that you skipped on the front side of the work. So that keeps it in front. So what you're seeing here with these darker is what's in the front, and you'll see that it's gonna be doing some really great stitch work in the end. And this is a set of 6. So between here and here is a set of 6. So you keep doing that all the way across until the very end, and then in the very final stitch you'll put a treble. Without further ado, let's go on to row number 2. Let's begin row number 2. Row number 2, we're going to start off with the chain 4, which is your first treble. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna be playing with treble and double trebles within this here. So when we're going to create leaning over stitches, that's gonna be a double treble, and when we're just going straight on down, it's going to be a treble. So how we start is that you're going to skip the very next 2 stitches and go to the 3rd, and that's gonna be your first double treble. So wrap that hook a total of 3 times and go into the 3rd one away. Pull through 2s all the way back to the top. It's a very long stitch. Now the next 2 trebles are gonna come straight on down, and you're gonna start with the one that's furthest away from here. So it's this one right here that I'm pointing with my thumb, and that's gonna be your first treble. So shifting it so that this double treble stays on the front side. Okay, so you just want to come in and you're wrapping twice and just shift it so that that double treble stays on the right side, which is the front side. Do that one, and before shifting it back into your hands to go upright again, just leave it turned over so that you can do the next one right beside it. And so these 2 trebles just are now sitting behind, which is what you wanted. So this is the first half of 6 stitches that you need to do. So the next 3, we're going to skip the next empty one, and we're going to treble into these 2 here. So 1 into each. So wrapping the hook twice. And now this time we need to do this angled double treble, and when we go to do it, we want to keep it on the front side of the work. So when we go to wrap it 3 times, you have to come in from the front side. So you're not gonna shift forward, you're just gonna kind of keep it back, and you're going to just go into the skipped one and pick it out of the row, and make sure the hook stays on the front side of the work. Pull through, and then pull through your 2s all the way back to the top. And now you just completed a set of 6 stitches, which is 1 repeat. So let's do another repeat. To start another repeat, you're going to skip the next 2 stitches out and go to the 3rd empty one, and that'll be your double treble. So wrapping 3 times and go to the 3rd one away, and do your 2s all the way back to the top. Now the 2 that you skipped is going to be trebles. So starting with the furthest one from here, just come on straight on down and stay on the back side so that that double treble stays on the front side of the work. Okay, so that stayed on the front side, so that's good. And now the other half of this set of 6 is that you're gonna skip the first one and you're going to treble the next 2. And then this one has to stay on the front side. So when we go to do it, we're gonna wrap the hook 3 times, it's a double treble into the skipped one, and keep it on the right side of the work, the front side. So you'll get used to how to access that as time goes on. So let's quickly show you one more time. So skipping the first one out, and you want to go, sorry, you want to skip the first 2 out, and you want to double treble the 3rd one away. Okay, and then come into the 2 with the treble that you skipped over. Okay, Okay, that's the first half of 6. So then the next one you'll skip the next one and treble into the next 2 after that. And now you're going to do a double treble into the one you skipped. And I need you to do that all the way across your work. So this is gonna take you to the last stitch available to you, and that's where I'm gonna pick you up. So please repeat the instructions. You will see that it will look like V shapes every time you do a section of 6. And please do that across, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So in my case I'm coming close up to the end, so I'm just finishing this set of 6. And it's gonna leave 1 stitch that's left on the end of the row for you. And I'm gonna try rewrapping again. So every other row you get a break from doing all this extra wrapping. So once that set of 6 is done, you have 1 stitch left, and that'll be a treble into the very final stitch. And when you turn this over, you're going to notice that there is no texture on the back. It's completely flat, and all the texture is on this side, which makes it the right side, or the good side of the work. Let's turn our work and do row number 3. In row number 3 you're gonna chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet into each of the stitches going all the way across. This will help stabilize the stitches, and it's a great opportunity to be able to do that. So row number 3 and 5 are always the same, of just single crochets going back. So it allows you to reset yourself so that the next time you go across you'll be doing the texture work once again. Please complete row number 3 now. I'll be back in a moment to start row number 4. When you get all the way back across this turning chain of the 4, don't forget that's a stitch 2. So make sure you go in the top of that chain work. Don't go into a big space, go right into the chain, and you'll finish that off, and that was row number 3. Let's begin row number 4. Let's go back to the diagram. So let's begin number 4. It's very similar to what you did in number 2, but there's slight changes so that you can keep the stitch work going up. As I mentioned in row number 2, see the highlighted one that's darker than the others? That's the one that's in front. So when you start row number 2 you're gonna treble you'll do your chain 4, which is counting as your treble. You'll skip just 1 stitch only and then treble into the next, and then this one comes into the front side here to the one you skipped. Once that one's in, you'll then skip a total of the next 2 empty and come on over and do this double treble, and then come back in and do the treble into the 2 that are skipped. So it's just exactly what you did here. The only difference is instead of starting here and here, it's actually starting here and here. See, it's just shifting over by 1, like 1 set, so in order to keep the lines going the way that they're doing it. Let's begin row number 4. So let's begin row number 4. Chain 4, which will count as your treble. And so this time here is that we are going to skip this next one, and we're going to treble into the next 2 after that. So we're skipping just 1 and then trebling the next 2. Now we're gonna come into the one we skipped, and we're going to apply that double treble. So wrapping that hook 3 times and come on the front side and stay on the front, because now you can absolutely tell what is the front and what's the back. So you always want to favor these ones to be on the front side of the work. Once that one's in, you're going to skip the next 2 and go to the 3rd, and this will help you by just looking where this is. Do you see how it's kind of there? That will help you, and you're going to double treble into that, skipping 2 and going to the 3rd one over. And this means then the 2 that you're filling in here, starting with this one, is that it's going to be on the back side. So shifting the work forward so that you can access that, and you'll do the next 2 as trebles. See that? So let's try another one. So you're gonna skip the next one, and you're gonna do a treble into these 2 here. That was a double, so wrapping that hook twice. The advantage of these trebles and double trebles is that it allows you to grow the blanket a lot faster. So if speed is your issue, this is a great way to accomplish that. So you've got the 2 trebles in there, so now you're gonna come in the front side of this and put in double treble. So wrap the hook 3 times, stay on the front, and now you're gonna skip the next 2 and double treble into the 3rd one away. Use the stitch work that you can see below to help you if you're ever lost. And now you're gonna fill in those trebles. You want this to stay on the front side, so just shift it, keep it on the front. And I'll show you one more repeat. So you're going to skip the next one and you're going to treble into the next 2. And then you're gonna come into the one you skipped with the double treble in the front side. And now you're gonna skip the next 2 and double treble into the 3rd one away. And then fill in the 2 that you skipped with the treble each. And I need you to do this all the way across. This is row number 4, and I'll be right back in just a moment, pick you up at the end of the row. So complete this stitch work all the way across. So getting all the way across, you're gonna have just 1 stitch left. So I've done the 6 there that you see, and the last stitch is a treble. Okay, everything is looking good, everything's lining up perfectly, and then you're gonna turn your work and let's begin row number 5, which is the end of the repeat. To do row number 5, you're just gonna chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going across. Please do that, and when you get over there we'll talk about the repeat of this, and then we'll start discovering the border in just a few moments from now. So when you come up to the end of number 5, don't forget this turning chain. That's where people go wrong. Make sure you apply 1 single crochet at the top of that chain, and that was it for row number 5. So now you've just completed rows number 2 through 5, and 2 through 5 is the repeat. So you can go 2 through 5 over and over and over until you're approximately 42 inches if you're following the pattern. If you are customizing it for any of your sizing, you just need to finish on a 5th row in order to make it make sense, and then you can pick up from the border from that particular point. So we can do that so you can fasten off so that you have a nice fresh start if you want to change your colors or anything that you need to do, and this is kind of fun. So let's begin, and let's show you how to do your final border. So to do the final border, where I've stopped here is where I can pick up, so I could fasten off if I wanted to, or I can keep this going. And what I need to do is right where I am, the corners have 5 double crochets in them. So all you just need to do is you need to chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet, and in the same one you want to apply 4 more double crochet. And maybe you'll love going back to double crochet after doing all those trebles and double trebles. So along the top here we have the stitch work. You can see it. It's just 1 double crochet in each of the stitches, and then when you get to the very last one here on this particular side here, you're gonna put 5 double crochets in there. So why don't I meet you there, and then I'll show you how to go down a side. So now just double crochet across the top edge, and I have the last one here. So in the last one I want to apply 5 double crochets in order to turn. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we have to get down the side edge. Now the best way to do it is always stay within the chain work. If you go into these spaces, it tends to really open it up, and you can make a call on what you would like to do with that. So you just have to equally space out your double crochets. So go right into the actual chain work that you can find. Just roughly look at how far each one of these are from each other and kind of match it on the side. So the nice thing about this particular pattern is that there's nothing growing on this later on where the number matters. What you're paying attention to the most is to make sure that it doesn't buckle. So if it starts to ruffle out, it means that you're being too slow and you're adding too many stitches too slowly. And if it's starting to pull in, like it's starting to bunch up like this, it means that you're jumping too quickly. So you're just gonna have to eye it up in order to have it make sense, so that when you lie down it still wants to stay flat. So it's something that you get used to. I've been crocheting a long time that I can pretty much almost get it right, and eventually you end up on the other side. So once you hit a corner, then you'll just apply 5 double crochets once again, and so that it'll help it turn, and then you can go along the bottom edge. I had you go on the back hump so the bottom edge will look perfect, and then you'll do exactly what you just did here on the final, coming back around, and that's where I'll pick you up in just a few moments from now. So I'm just coming all the way back around. This is where I started, so I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first chain 3, and that'll pull that back around. So the neat thing that you have to do for our border number 2, so round number 2, is that you just have to pay attention to the middle one of the grouping of 5. The middle one of the grouping of 5 will also have 5 double crochets in it. So right where I am, I want to just chain 3, and that's your first double crochet, and I'm gonna double crochet in each of the stitches around except for the one that is the middle one of a grouping of 5, which is the next one, and there will be 5 double crochets in that one to allow you to turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once that one's done, you just continue along. The hard work has now been done. You've got your stitch work already established, and just keep an eye for your corner pieces and apply 5 double crochets in those corners and 1 double crochet in everything in between. So go all the way around. I'll see you back here in just a moment, and we'll conclude today's project. Now that I'm coming all the way back around, I just did that just like I said, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. So now to finish off, just gonna fasten off, keep it a little bit of an extra long tail, and any tails that you have, just turn it to the back side of the work, so even if it changed on you in midway, chances are you probably didn't get this far when you're just seeing this now after you completed it. So at the end, any tails that you will have, just in order to get it to go, just kind of hide it in underneath the stitch work. So when you go to pull it, don't change the shape of your project, and go once and then a slightly different path back, and then finally a third time as a charm, staying underneath the stitch work. So don't go on the outside of that, and then any loose ends that you have that you want to do the same thing. That one's already buried, and this would be a miniature sample of that particular blanket. So have a good day, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye bye.